Let's address the elephant in the room here. Sex and kink are portals for transformation. Sex is absolutely everywhere. It's in our media, it's in our advertisements, it's in our culture, and yet it's the most taboo thing to talk about. When I first decided I wanted to create this platform, I was met with a lot of criticism. And yet, despite it being so taboo, we secretly want to know more. The truth about this is that the healing power has been suppressed for generations. It's been buried under shame, stigma. It's insane, and that's exactly why I created Healing with Kink, to uncover the truths that you probably have never heard before, and to rewrite the stories that we've been told about sexuality, because you deserve the most pleasure-filled, open sexuality, and that's just not possible when we're ridden with stories about what it should be. Now, my name is Karina. I've been studying spirituality and psychology for about over a decade. And if there's one thing I've learned, it is that sexuality, at one point, you're gonna need to dive into that. So whether you're doing it in this lifetime or the next lifetime, you are going to need to heal this aspect of yourself to unlock your fullest potential. Sexual energy is the most powerful energy we have. The ancient Taoists had this written in stone. It is the most potent energy. I mean, we came from it. I mean, think about it. Mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, hygiene. There's so many ways in which we take care of ourselves, but what are you doing for yourself sexually? Do you know who you are? Do you know what this energetic frequency is trying to do within you? Because it's trying to create. It's creative energy. Whether you're creating a baby or a project, it is creative energy. It is the doorway, the pathway to deeper levels of creation, of self-love. It's pleasure. It lights you up, and I am so excited to be a stepping stone on this journey for you. And you know what? I'm gonna guess that this is why you're here. Whether or not you consciously know this or not, your spirit has led you to this episode because you're ready. You're ready to peel back the layers of shame, the layers of stigma, the layers of conditioning. You're ready to dive into the shadows of sexuality because deep down, you know that there's more. You know it. So now here's my elevator pitch. Let me tell you the 5 things that are waiting for you on the other side of this work because it's incredible. Number 1 is unimaginable pleasure, not just in the bedroom, but in everyday life, just being filled with this vitality. Number 2 is confidence in voicing your desires, your boundaries, your authentic truth, opening up this throat chakra. Number 3, my favorite maybe, full body orgasms. Orgasms that extend far beyond the physical plane. It is a state of bliss and oneness. 4, depth and intimacy in relationships that feel real and authentic. None of that superficial shit. And lastly, maybe most importantly, is power. Power and freedom in every area of your life, no longer being the victim. And here's the honest truth. I have taken a full year off of my previous company to cultivate this, to really know it, to feel it, so that I can teach it. And all of this embodiment of these things only came after doing the deep work of addressing my sexuality. And I will tell you, it is not easy. It is not easy. So let me tell you what I worked through before that. I struggled with intimacy so deeply. I was so scared to let people close. And if I'm honest, what that really was me being afraid of getting close to myself, to my own emotion. I avoided my emotions. I avoided expressing them and feeling them and owning them. I was constantly just in this mental frequency instead of being in my body. I also battled this fine line between being over-sexualized as a product of being a female and yet under-sexualized if I dressed a certain way. It just, being me wasn't enough. I had to either be this or be that. It's to this, to that. I know you know what I mean. I also struggled with voicing my desires to my sexual partners and in life in general. Like, it was very hard for me to claim that I wanted something, whether it was a different schedule when I was working outside of my company years ago, or claiming that I wanted a certain meal at a restaurant, or claiming that I wanted my partner to do something with me in the bedroom. It was hard. I also struggled with covering my body due to sexual shame. Like, I felt unsafe if I wore a crop top. I felt unsafe wearing certain things because I would be portrayed a certain way. Again, my mindset was always external instead of internal. I also performed in bed. I will admit that. I felt like I needed to look a certain way. I also felt like I was there for my partner instead of myself, like almost being the object instead of the subject of an experience. And that's something that I learned through my course with Layla Martin, is that there's a difference between being the object and being the subject within sex. And it will create a very different energetic embodiment of sexuality in you when you're an object versus a subject. And if you resonate with any of this, I'm going to stop there, even though there's way more that I dealt with before this awakening. But if you resonate with any of this, welcome home. I began a research study where I interviewed women around their experiences with sexuality. And let me tell you, this is not just your story. It is our story. These struggles are embedded into the human condition. It's insidious. It's like just in there, like lurking in the shadows. It's in the shadows of our subconscious minds, quietly running the show, telling us to be a certain way, even though our spirit is like, but this is it, not this. For me, undoing the damage of that conditioning came through hiring masterful coaches. I've hired the best of the best. I've enrolled in so many courses. I have tuned into my body, because ultimately your body is the one with the wisdom. And honestly, I just did the fucking work. That's really what it comes down to. It did not happen overnight, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This work takes courage. To heal, to dive into your sexuality takes courage. The first few months I spent it crying, just straight crying, because there was so much to release, so much grief. You don't know what you don't know, my friends. You don't know what you don't know. If you're listening to this, I know that you have the courage within you to be able to transmute. So throughout Healing with Kink, throughout this journey together, I'm going to share everything I've learned. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not a gatekeeper. And I'm going to be sharing everything that I'm still learning, because I don't know everything. And my intention is for you to live the most authentic and powerful and pleasure-filled life that's available to you. You're a human for a reason. Might as well indulge in all of the human spectrum. This space is about embracing erotic freedom and stepping into the truth of who you are, because when we find erotic freedom, we find full body healing, full body freedom, full body expansion. We don't play small. We're diving into the deep. We're doing the real work. We're not negating a huge part of ourselves, being our sexuality. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting and being brave enough to explore what most people shy away from. Together, in this collective journey, we are unraveling the shame. We are rewriting these narratives that no longer serve. And we're going to uncover, I promise, we're going to uncover the magic that has been waiting for you. Signing off here. Again, my name is Karina. Thank you so much for being a part of Healing with Kink. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.